So, to your question, who is Nutan? In one word, a warrior. And now I had to choose between the two. What am I fixing first, the personal or the business? And I chose to pick the business first, because if we don't have the money flowing in, we will never fix the business situation. We will never have enough to feed our families. See,
How much time did it take for you to reach there and then, be financially independent?
I was lucky. I got through some companies, I would say, in a good within a year, 8 months to a year. But really pushing myself, walking into trade shows and just volunteering for free so that people see me and see my profile and what can I deliver. And even then, just pursuing persistently, knocking their doors again and again. And they never allowed me to get married to him. So I had to run away from my house to get married to him.
Oh,
And I left for
which
United
year
States.
was that?
This was in 2000.
In 2000.
Yeah.
How do you manage
God,
doing that?
God gives you the courage.
It's
Not
not
easy. It's not
It's not.
easy, but you have to think logical and you have to think long term. And I just left, and I had not met my kids, and I didn't know if I would ever see them in life again.
Oh my God. Welcome to episode 3 of Own Your Story, the podcast where personal branding meets powerful storytelling. In the past two episodes, we had witnessed how it is a journey to own your story. You can't just think about, okay, whatever has happened in my life, I'm owning it. That never happens. It's a journey. And all of us are work in progress. I'm glad that today I have a guest with me, Ma'am Nutan Rungta. I will call her ma'am no matter what. If I have to add adjectives about describing her, it'll be tenacious, persistent, resilient, obviously, and amazingly graceful. I don't think she's reverse aging. I believe I would want Nutan that you introduce yourself. Welcome to On Your Story, and I'm glad you took time out all the way from New York and you've come here to be part of this podcast. Knowing you for so many years, I have imagined that we would be sitting like this in a podcast, and it's a little goosebump kind of a moment for me. So, who is Nutan? Let's begin with that.
First of all, thank you, Shweta, for having me over. It is really my honor. And I'm also very happy to see your transformation. For me, that is huge. And I resonate that with my story as well. And, the power in us that drives us to growth. And I see that a lot more in you. So I would say,
Thank
welcome
you.
to the team.
Maybe I can say partly you inspired me.
That's even good, because we hold hands and we walk together. So and that's my mission as well. So yes, to your question, who is Nutan? In one word, a warrior. Never accepting defeat, always wanting to fight, always looking at challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. That's me.
I couldn't have put it better than that. Knowing your story for so long, and now the audience eventually will decipher. You truly are a warrior. So I want to start with the time in your childhood. How was your childhood like?
So I was very blessed to be born in a very loving, nurturing family, and we were six siblings. I was in the middle. I'm still in the middle. So, but I was the luckiest, I would say. Most pampered, and my parents had a lot of hopes from me all along. And I don't know how long, if I've really fulfilled their hopes, but I've stood out, and I've always carved a new path for myself against, the routine protocol or expectations from society. So as a little teenager also, I remember, traveling all the way, picking my colleges, picking the studies I wanted to do, researching it myself, and really making it happen.
So for the audience, like where do you hail from?
I was born in Delhi, but lived all my life in Bombay. Did my studies from Bombay, and then I was married in Bombay. And the last 25 years, I've been in the United States in New York.
Where's your hometown?
Chembur,
Chembur. Hardcore Bombay.
hardcore Bombay.
Amazing, amazing. So, any distinctive anecdote that you have, which wherein you realized that uh, you're a warrior in
uh,
your childhood?
Very distinct and a life-changing one. The first one was my marriage.
That's not childhood though.
It's not complete childhood, but yeah,
You were
that's.
young when you got married.
I was 22 when I got married.
Same here.
Yeah, yeah. Not very young because my sisters got married way earlier than me. But I being in the middle, I got a little extra time to fulfill my education and live my life the way I wanted. So I was blessed with that. But yes, when I got married, my ex-husband was known and also liked by the family. But against all odds, nobody expected that when I proposed to my parents to be married to him, there were all objections that could ever happen, and they never allowed me to get married to him. So I had to run away from my house to get married to him.
Oh my
So
god.
that was my first
I
warrior
wasn't
instinct.
aware of this.
Yeah, I actually eloped and I did not go back to my family for good 2 years. I was not allowed to visit my home. So that was the first time I really understood that I want to do, if I decide I want to do something, I do it. And
But like, is it because knowing you, I would want to believe that it's not like zid nahi thi, right?
इवेंचुअली जिद हो गई थी. Eventually logic went out the window and जिद हो गई थी कि why is the objection there.
लुकिंग बैक आपको लगता है कि आपको अलग डिसीजन लेना चाहिए था? कभी ऐसा ख्याल आया?
कभी कभी लगता है अभी.
Now, when it comes to, like you said, ex-husband, so I'm assuming you've separated.
Yes.
So, was separation amicable or it was difficult?
It was a nightmare.
Oh my God.
It was a nightmare because having eloped and getting married to the prince of your dreams, one would never imagine a situation like this. And for me, it was literally the earth sliding below my feet. So after almost 12, 14 years of marriage, you are kind of told that you're not needed anymore and have somebody else in life. So that was not a situation I had imagined ever, and that really is what flips your life. That you put everything in
Your heart and
faith,
soul, yeah.
your heart and soul into an individual and embrace the family and do everything you want to win over. And for me, it was just not winning over the family, it was also professionally standing shoulder to shoulder and doing everything that we could to rise in business and establish our business and everything. And suddenly one day you are told, well, you're not needed under this roof anymore.
I'm glad you're sharing, and you're sharing with so much authenticity. I would want to ask you that at that moment, like you were what, 35, 40?
I was
at that time?
35 then.
35, 40 at then. So, in those many years, you have a shaped up personality,
Of course.
right? Now, you start believing in yourself, and you have kind of overcome some imposter syndrome, self doubt phases,
Yep,
etc. And then, did this episode throw you back in that vicious circle of am I good enough? Or
It did big time. Because constantly there are impressions given to you. You are good at this and you're not good at that. I mean, I had a lot of goods, so thankfully for that, because I guess I performed well in the domestic and professional front.
yeah, so when I first met you, I was like, if I have to benchmark a professional woman, I would benchmark her. Ever if I become a professional woman, if I have to benchmark a housewife, homemaker, whatever you may call it, I would benchmark her there also. And I was like, how can she be good at both, And I remember coming to your home, and it's with such precision, I would use that word. You were managing the house, like you open any wardrobe, it was like kept so tidily, and I'm like, I have a very vivid memory of
nice.
that, and
I didn't
it
know you
kind
were
of
sneaking in then.
no, you showed me around, and I just observed things, and I was like, it did honestly had a lot of pressure on me at that time because I was a newly wedded wife, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, my husband is moving around with you, and you were an icon for him, and I should do something to kind of live up to his expectations now. So it was some kind of pressure, but little did I know what you were going through internally. I could never figure that out unless off very late that I heard about it. What was the journey like? You know, getting thrown back. What were your inner struggles? What were your external struggles? How did you overcome them? What was the journey like?
So, looking back, I was fighting two wars then. One was personal life, marriage life, and the second was business as well. We were going through deep crisis then. A lot of,
So
huge
just I'm interjecting here to set the context. You and your ex-husband were running a business.
we were into business together. We started it before our marriage together, and we were into publishing and trade show organizing for the fashion and textile industry, and we were, you could say, the pioneers then.
I am sure. I'm sure.
Bringing huge trade shows, international level trade shows to India, and a lot of fashion shows and top celebrities, and also, and working with the whole industry and almost 500 students interning with me every year. So we were kind of well out there.
Yes, yes.
So
Context India was like one of the pioneer.
One of the pioneer shows then.
Yeah.
Nothing comes easy. So we had our toll of paying the price to rise to those heights, and we grew very fast. So along with that came a lot of complications and a lot of crisis, and especially financial crisis. And that's when the blame game begins. What I did is right and what you did is wrong, and that's where it
The
all
tiff started.
The tiff started, and um, uh, you know I'm trying to use the right word, but sadly, in that rift, I became the scapegoat, and all the blame was on me. And the effect of that business situation seeped into my personal life, and that's where my marriage life kind of became tough, and it wasn't easy at all. So while I was fighting the business situation, the personal creeped in, and now I had to choose between the two. What am I fixing first, the personal or the business? And I chose to pick the business first, because if we don't have the money flowing in, we will never fix the business situation. We will never have enough to feed our families. So I decided to pick that and bury the personal under the carpet. With all the difficult situations we were in, I realized surviving in India or filling in the deep ditch we were in, it was not a possibility. And it was just not me and my husband, but a lot of the family members were involved, and we had exhausted all our resources there. So for me, it was one of us need to move out to fetch, so that we can fill in the liabilities and start building an alternate platform for survival. So that's the leap that I took, and I literally packed my bag. My children were in the boarding school in Cynthia's then, and and the personal was going on, and I just decided to shut my eyes to it, and I decided to walk out of the house, and I left for
Which
United
year
States.
was that?
This was in 2000.
In 2000. I mean, I remember meeting you around that time, and I had no clue you were going through so much pain. So I don't know. How do you manage doing that?
God gives you the courage. Your
Courage
determination.
is one, but kind of stonewalling it for the rest
It's
of the
not
world.
easy. It's not
It's
easy, but you have to think logical and you have to think long term. And the personal really did not bother me. I really thought it was a phase and it would fade out once we fix the business issues. And so, I mean, I just left, and I had not met my kids, and I didn't know if I would ever see them in life again.
Oh my God. When you took that step of going abroad, like again, I'm coming back to the same question. What was going on in your mind?
It was
And what other people around you were saying about this decision?
I was the black sheep, and all kind of social pressure that why you going out, are you trying to say you better than the others and things like that. I had to just shut myself to all that
Negativity.
negativity that was around. And I was very determined, very focused that I want to start earning independently for myself and for my family. And that was my only goal. And I had no clue what am I going to get in there because there was nothing ready for me. Even in the United States, I just had one family member who supported me immensely, for the first few years. And then that was just my shelter home, and I got there. And then from there I just started to, I took up some studies because I realized whatever I did in India was of no value. Neither my education nor my experience, it did not matter there. So I realized I needed an American thappa on my degree. I took up education. I started to apply for jobs, and I pretty much just knocked every door, every opportunity to just say I
How
need.
much time did it take for you to reach there and then, be financially independent?
I was lucky. I got through some companies, I would say, in a good, within a year, 8 months to a year. But really pushing myself, walking into trade shows and just volunteering for free so that people see me and see my profile and what can I deliver. And even then, just pursuing persistently, knocking their doors again and again. I mean, I so clearly remember an incidents where I worked for that company for 5 years, and I was at the show with them volunteering for 5 days. And after 3 months, they kept promising, when there's a vacancy, we'll let you in. And I was like, I barged in one day and I met the CEO and I said, you have no reason not to hire. I have the education, I have the expertise in the industry you need. I come with a reference. You have tested me for 5 years. Do not pay me a penny. Support me with my visa first. And after 6 months, you decide what you want to pay me. I was so persistent. I said, you want me to clean you and mop your floor? I'll do that. But I need the support right now. So it's just interesting. We meet now.
It must be so difficult, like, you employing so many people, you had a pan India business, you were sitting with the Ministry of Textiles and the who's
Yes.
who in the textile industry, and like you were iconic in so many ways, and then suddenly I am like speechless. How do you know?
I think the key point here is where you thought you were so successful and worthy, and suddenly somebody else takes that key and turns it around and says you are not worthy at all. And that key, unfortunately, is your spouse. And we give it to them. So somebody else really dictating whether you are worthy or no, I think that's wrong.
I am sure 80% of the women, whether working or not, will completely relate with this.
Yes, yes.
Because knowingly, unknowingly, the whole that you should be selfless syndrome
Yeah.
is conditioned in women in India, especially. I think it's the case world around.
It's global
It's
to
global.
a greater extent here, but it's global phenomenon.
Yeah, and yeah, while being selfless is fine, but then but you should claim your space. Like, if you let your space go, it's your fault.
Of course, we're to be blamed for it, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I also just said my ex-husband, but ultimately we give in.
Yeah,
We give in to the
and we
space.
don't see those red flags.
We don't
Completely
see the red
ignore.
flags. Yes.
And we see the more we are selfless, the better we are going to achieve, and
Yes.
and we are misreading those
We are
less
misreading those lines. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it boils down to financial needs. And when that is suddenly flipped and taken away from you. So I did, since I ran away from my house and I got married, I could not go back to my family. And here, my current family threw me out, literally. Overnight, I was thrown out. So it's like, okay, I don't have this and I don't have that. And I lost all my business as well. How am I going to survive? What am I going to eat tomorrow?
तो जब भी मैं के क्लासिक डायलॉग मुझे याद आ रहा है कि अब इसके बाद क्या ही होगा.
इसके बाद क्या ही होगा? Exactly. You are in a situation where the worst has happened.
Yeah.
In your imagination, because you don't know what's there holding you on the other side. So you discover that later. So I was literally in that situation. What worse can happen to me now? And I did not want to go and take obligations from family and friends. I was like, how long will they support me? So with that realization, I took that jump out.
Amazing. Welcome back. Let's start a really amazing conversation with Nutan, a stalwart in her own realm. And first time I have an NRI coming to a podcast. I am very interested in continuing. So we spoke about your personal journey, your inner struggle, external struggle, and yes, warrior fits best in that description. And I'm sure a lot of audiences, कि हमें लगता है कि बस अब तो जिंदगी खत्म है, अब कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. And your story definitely will give them a lot of hope कि जब तक हम जिंदा हैं कुछ खत्म नहीं होता. And in my personal experience also, Nutan, and I've shared this with you in personal capacity, is that we give so much importance to the 5 people or 10 people around
Yeah.
us, that their validation means the world to us. And if they are not validating while the whole world is
Is
validating,
validating.
it doesn't make any sense, which is not true.
That's right.
Which is not true. And that, whether we are like before marriage जो family है वो, after marriage जो family है वो, contention is, why do we allow that to condition us? Why does that happen?
I think we live in a society, and that's the way our grooming happens. Is being a woman, you are secondary, whether as a daughter, as a sister, as a wife, as a mother. We've never been given even the freedom to think that we are independent. Forget being independent alone. So, and it all stems up from there, that we seek validation, and all those validations build our profile, which is really not true. And for me, this was a big learning and an awakening, especially when I stepped abroad. And even as a professional, I was given certain titles and I fitted myself into those molds, saying, okay, I'm a creative director, I'm an operational director, I'm this, I'm that. And to my surprise, when I went there and I started to realize the importance of certain things that we never even talked about was so huge. Hard work, honesty, punctuality, analytical, digital, just your creative mind. It's like, oh my God, they are valuing this and they want to pay me for this. And I am picked over the many others who've been there in that environment, way more experienced than me, and then still I am picked. So, and each experience with the companies I worked, that was so surprising and so eye-opening, I would say.
So when you look beyond these validations that you trusted so much, you
Right.
realize, you're pleasantly surprised that you had the potential in you.
It is a new me. That's how I see. And now I thank my situation for what happened to me in India,
Yeah.
because I'm a new person now completely. I've not
You would
lost.
have moved abroad.
I would not have. In fact, I was given an opportunity in 95 and I totally declined. I said, I'm not moving. I'm so happy here. But, after all this, and especially just, coming back to your point of, as an individual, the learning, the discovery of yourself is immense. And then that's where it starts unfolding the potential in you. And the more you reach success in one specific area, you are unfolding the other one. It's like an onion peel, and you're just like, oh my God, this is what I am, and this is what I can be. That can be comes after a whole lot of new validations or approvals or success stories that you've built. You now start to think, why not? Why not me? Why can't I be that person? Or why can't I live my dreams? And that has come to me in the last 10, 15 years. And I mean, I have really, really big vision. God bless me with all that to fulfill. But just, you start to fight within yourself and say, why not me? If others can do it, I can do it.
ऐसा होता है, मेरे साथ तो ऐसा हुआ है कि once you find yourself in a battlefield fighting all by yourself. एक फाइट जीतते हो छोटी बड़ी, एक फाइट जीतते हो, 2 फाइट जीतते हो, तीसरी फाइट जीतते हो, उसके कोई भी फाइट आती है ना, मुझे लगता है कर ही लेंगे
एग्जैक्टली।
हाँ, मतलब
क्या रॉकेट साइंस है।
हाँ, मतलब कर ही लेंगे, हो ही जाएगा। हमारा वो घबराहट खत्म हो जाती है, आई थिंक कि
आती है, फॉर अ मोमेंट आती है, एंड देन यू लुक एट पीपल अराउंड,
you know that you'll get through.
Of course. I think it needs your inner conviction and your inner determination. That's it. बाकी सब आ जाता है.
Because your personal and professional journey has been intertwined for a very long time, so I will say, like, in this journey, the ups and downs, both personal and professional, who was your guide? Any person in particular that has, holded hands, helped you sail through, or number of people?
I have a couple of friends who supported me in initially analyzing the situation and saying, you've got to get out of this and look at the bigger picture. And then I've been lucky to have a very good bonding with my sisters and my family, and they've supported me. And of course, after that, my kids, who I saw them after 2 years after I moved, and now they are with me there. So they've
How old
supported
are
me.
your kids?
35 and 36 years old.
Guys, please. She has done some surgery. Trust me. Like, I'm like, I have a 24 and a 20, and like, I don't know 35 साल में क्या दिखने वाली हूँ मैं.
No, you'll be the same. You'll be the same, yeah. As long as you are young at heart and feeling lively, you'll be the same. And that's what I practice. I just want to be young at heart.
I'm sure. So, in terms of professional, you started from scratch in New York, and like how was the journey? What are the internal and external struggles that you faced there? How did you overcome? Where are you, in what capacity are you working now?
Currently, I'm a founder and a business owner for a jewelry brand that I launched, Nectar New York, a few years ago, and that was mainly launched to kind of believe in myself that everything that I have learned and preached over the years, and if I do it myself, how successful am I going to be? So, that has been very well received, and I'm happy I did it. It's a brand that's been in major retail stores, across Europe and America. And we launched it with the New York Fashion Week and the Paris Fashion Week. And, all my dreams of 40 years old, I could execute here again. And this time I did it independently. So that was a whole big achievement in itself. And I'm now a business consultant helping companies with US and India ties. I represent companies out of America to launch and, products in India, and even whether it's manufacturing, sourcing, all that base, and as well as Indian companies to represent in the whole of North America. I also represent the Indian Economic Trade Council as their US counterpart, and we bring in delegations in US and across, and again, business tie-ups, economic growth.
You're all over the place.
I love it. I love being all over, especially travel.
Yeah, again, I'm reposing this question, that in this whole journey, what at different steps, we have different kind of inner struggles and different kind of external struggles. Anything specific that you would want audience to see? What I'm trying to get from you is, inner struggles are not identified, or the awareness is not there that is a struggle, and we have to pay attention to it and resolve it. External struggles, we possibly are able to identify more, and how much heed do we need to pay to those struggles is again something that we need to understand. So in your case, through your journey, through your anecdotes, what would you tell our audience?
See, the inner struggles are self-doubt, most important. It begins with that, and once you see that you have no other choice or the determination to win, that overtakes. So you have to just be open to looking at opportunities around and give it an attempt to try, because unless you step in, you don't know what you're going to learn out of it. And I think every experience, there is immense learning. Right from, for me, the first one was when I had to operate a Xerox machine. You know how my life was in India. I didn't have to do that. And when I was put in front of that big machine that, okay, make copies, and I'm looking left and right, how do I operate this? So this is a very small example, but those are realities. And then you say, okay, well, I'll do it. Or even turning on the computer those days was like, how am I going to do it? So it's
So
these.
now if you have to set up an empire like Clothesline all over again, or any other empire, like you were already
Yeah.
running a business, the mindset is going to be entirely different.
Very different. It's totally hands-on, and it's like, okay, well, no big deal, I can do it.
Yeah. So in India, business owners usually have a very uh, uptight kind of
It's a
a.
different culture.
It's a different
Yeah,
culture.
we are hands on.
Yeah.
We are hands on, and we are also all rounders and multitaskers.
So in US, being Asian or being Indian, was it a problem to
It was
keep
initially.
growing
I mean,
yourself?
initially it was. I mean, you know, to my surprise, a lot of times I was even asked, "How do you speak such good English?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? We
Yeah.
are convent educated. We spoke in English." But that was a mindset. I think that has changed in the last decade, especially. India has gained a lot of prominence and respect. So, thanks to the new
We are
government.
still the second rate citizen there.
That will take time to go, but I think we are making our space with all the, big multinationals, CEOs, all placed very well with, Indian executives there. India is changing, and so is our image changing. So that's good. I was in an industry where we didn't have a lot of women buyers, and I was a buyer for gemstone and diamonds with my first company, and so I was told I was the only one Indian woman doing buying there. So, but then that was an advantage to me because I stood out against everybody. And the one thing that I would want to tell is, since I was an employer all along, I never behaved like an employee, even in my companies I worked. Although I entered as an junior most executive in my first company, but I never behaved like an employee. My mindset was always own up the business and see what best I can do all
So
around.
that worked in the employer's advantage.
Huge. And that came to me from the market as well as a buyer when I reached. This is, we never look at you as an employee or a buyer. You behave like an owner. So I think don't lose your character or your strength. And no matter what company or place you are in, own it up. Like you were saying, own up your story is the same thing. Own up the space and perform.
So if I have to ask you a pointed question, that if this podcast was happening sometime in 2010 maybe, would you be still that confident and comfortable sharing your story, owning your story?
Not to this extent, because I would not have ventured into my own businesses and brands and all. But the flip had happened.
The flip had happened.
The flip had happened immensely, and 10 years ago, yeah, huge flip had happened, and I had started to gain way more confidence.
Amazing.
And as I kept growing up the ladder, getting more portfolios, even in the previous company, I was there for 15 years, and they gave me portfolios, food buyer, and I'm like, I'm a vegetarian. What has food got to do with me? You're telling me to buy non-veg and all that stuff, and American food, I don't even understand. I was given
I
the
remember
coin.
चाट कोई ऐसे कैसे खा सकता है?
Exactly, I'm like,
But I was like, आपका aura देख के I never I was sitting. I remember sitting opposite to you on a dining table, and you were merrily eating with your hand that puchkas and all, and I was like, okay, I'm comfortable now.
no, absolutely. I'm very, very grounded and very.
Is that you?
Yeah. No, I love.
Professionally, how do you see who should reach out to you for what?
Anybody seeking business, intelligence and guidelines of setting up business and all. But more than that, my passion goes to helping women,
And I was
uplifting
trying
them.
to come to that.
Yeah, more than that, monetary aside, but if I can make one woman's life change for the better, I think my day is served well.
In your gems and jewelry business, you mentioned that you were empowering a lot of women.
Yes,
in that process.
we work on uplifting, basically supporting economic independence for women. So we work with a lot of nonprofit organizations. We've embedded a lot of craft into our jewelry, and each craft is made at different nonprofit organizations across India. So by way of that, and then we work with women in jail, giving them
Jail. Oh my
yeah,
God.
we work with women in jail, giving them employment opportunities. And I mean, I actually say the best days I spent was with women in jail, playing and dancing with them.
Wow.
It's just a very beautiful experience. Of course, you don't want to be, want to see them there, but then they all have such beautiful stories as well. More than that, the spark of them wanting to come out and tell the world they are worthy. And I
Yeah.
think that being worthy, that spark, if we can bring in every woman, and also ignite the fire of please, please, please be economically independent. You never know when your world will flip.
Can't agree more. There is that inner energy
Yeah.
that you get, and you know, when I so with personal branding, I have done this exercise with you also, and with all my clients, I ask them to uh, do the five whys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And when I set out to do it for myself, I thought that money will be the empowering word for me.
Yeah.
And when I set out writing, and I realized that uh, while money entices me, it's not money in particular. What I'm seeking here is financial independence at
Yeah.
large.
At large. Total.
So definitely it brings in a lot of confidence, very underrated.
Yeah.
And it was glorified that women don't need financial
No.
independence and all of that.
No.
uh, at least they should have tasted once, and voluntarily if they want to give up, it's a different thing, but I
Why
don't.
would you give up?
Why should you give
Why
up?
should you give up? No. Create your own space, create your own wealth. You never know when life takes a U-turn.
Because in my household living rooms, I've heard this discussion often, and hear it even now, that and I kind of I don't align with that if you have a lot of money, um you become arrogant, or you become
No.
selfish, or you become
Share it.
all of that. I truly believe that if you have more money, you have more power to empower.
Absolutely.
If you don't have money, what best that you can offer?
You have the resource to share. If you
Yeah.
don't have it, what are you going to share? So you
Yeah.
need abundance of it.
And money is, you're not just sitting idle and making money, right? So while making money, the experience,
Yeah,
wealth
totally.
that you are gaining, that also you're passing it on to the future
Absolutely.
generation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I remember when and I'm citing this anecdote, just to close this, also that when I started working at the age of 41, and it was like 4.5 years, obviously the company was a small company paying me very negligible amount as compared to what
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my husband was earning and all of that. So they were like, why the hell you have to actually go and do anything, because this is all jeopardizing the 24 into 7 housewife role.
No.
And in that jugglery, I, at one dipping point in my life, I gave up and I sent my resignation. And morning, I was sitting in the breakfast table telling my kids that, hey, I have resigned. I was under the assumption that they would be very relaxed and happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
They have mom at their beck and call and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was surprised that immediately बड़ा वाला तो कुर्सी हटा के खड़ा हो गया, that mom, you were everything, but you were not a quitter.
Yeah.
I can't take this. You are not a quitter.
Yeah.
And the younger one, he said, I have nothing to say. I'm highly disappointed.
Very nice. I'm so proud of them.
And from that moment on, no matter what noises were in my head, or noises
Mm-hmm.
coming
Mm-hmm.
from outside, I just closed my eyes and remember that particular anecdote moment very vividly, and like, no,
You
I,
conclude.
I can't disappoint my kids.
See, also, the reason why they said that is also because when you were working, they saw the new you. They saw the changes you brought. They saw the positive approach to different things, which by default we carry home when we are in a work environment. We share experiences of our peers, and co-workers, and we bring them home. So that was a very refreshing thing they must have experienced in the last, few years you were working. And that is what they need. And also the confidence that you brought home and the happiness you brought home every day by working and by earning was a whole new you. And that's what they embraced. And of course, you're not a quitter at all. I know you for years. So you got to fight
So
it.
what can one expect from Nutan? I don't even know whether it is 2.0, 3.0, 5.0, whatever. Up, say, what does future life for Nutan?
Future life for me is a community of happy women,
A community of
happy women, independent women.
I would like to join that.
Yeah. And when I say happy, I am in no way saying quit your families, quit your, this, whatever makes you happy, but be confident and happy. That's my definition of happy. Stop the misery, stop the complaints. Come on, we have enough opportunities around us. Let's pick those and run with them.
We have enough opportunities
We
around
all have.
us.
We
Let's
all have.
pick and
Run with them.
run with them. I'm so glad we are having this conversation. I can sit with you for hours and hours and hours and hours. I think we'll have a part two also someday. Thank you so much for being with me. Any last thoughts that you have?
Shine bright and be happy.
Shine bright and be happy. Wow, with
Choose
that
your
thought,
purpose. Yeah, choose your purpose.
Choose your purpose.
And demonstrate it, please.
Choose your purpose and demonstrate it. With that thought, thank you so much, Nutan. I am so glad that I don't imagine our paths will cross and cross like this. That the person connected us is out of the picture now.
He's not happy about that.
He's out of the picture now,
Yeah.
and I see a lot of work we two doing together
Of course.
in future. And do you think that whatever story that you've shared now, it is essential for women to kind of, while they are in their journey of owning their story, it's equally important for them to share their story so that others can take
Absolutely.
inspiration?
Absolutely, because we shy away from it.
Sob story kyun sunana?
Exactly. We shy away and we also undermine it, saying, who wants to listen to my story? And I've learned this from a very close friend of mine. And she's like, you'll be surprised to see how people want to listen to your stories and learn from your stories. And since that day, I've started to come out and be a little vocal about it.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. So, yes, there is learning in everybody's experience, and we should all be owning up our stories and talking about it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for having me over.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's have our coffees.
There we go. Thank you.